All right, I'm back, and I'm here to talk about the Fringe. Today's my last day in Edinburgh. It's been here 20 days in this little room with my laundry hanging up on this little rack here because it's too cold outside to dry, and it's been a good time. It's been a good time. Met some great people, mostly Australians. The Scottish were not a big fan. I also they're all kind of like retarded. Like they're really slow. Like you ever call customer service and they're supposed to be like, "Hey, I'm da da. How can I help you?" Every now and then you'll get a customer service guy where he'll just be like, "Hey," and you're like, "Hey," and he's like, "Hello," and you're like, "Bro, you're supposed to be leading the dance here. This is your job." So that's the interaction I was having with most Scottish employees. They just looked confused and not sure what they were supposed to be doing at their job. But maybe it's just because they hated me because I'm American. There's definitely a lot of America hatred, but it's mostly angled at Trump. Like everyone's obsessed with Trump. And they talk about Trump more than Americans do. And it's weird because it's like it's not your country. It's not affecting you. But I guess America is the most important country, and you can't dispute that because everyone's talking about it. Nobody knows who's. I've been in Scotland all month. I don't know who the president is, or if they even have a president. But America is the best country because we have air conditioning and a bunch of other things. But I mean, what's cool about Europe is it's way smaller than America, and you can drive a few hours and you're in a completely different culture. There's different architecture, different language, different food. And in America, it doesn't vary that much. There's different accents, but they're slight. But America's so much bigger. And it's hard to generalize something that's that big because the larger the group, the more difficult it is to summarize if you have such a diverse crowd. And speaking of diverse crowds, that's they have not been here. They've been mostly white people, so it's weird for them to be offended on behalf of other people. But you know that's how it's always been. We know that. I need to angle this slightly. And yeah, so people keep asking me like, "Hey, what?" So as an American, like, what do you think about Trump? Hoping that I like him so they can shame me. And I tell them honestly, I'm like, I think Trump is banging little girls. But at least he's not gay. And then I get him. And they actually, they usually laugh at that. The thing about Trump, though, is he's making me a bunch of money. The reason I'm here right now is because I invested what I was going to invest in golden cricket and put it into Bitcoin a few years ago, and it blew up, and then it blew up even more right as Trump got elected. So now I can afford to do this because of Trump. So I can't denounce him and say that I hate him. But I also am not going to deny that he's probably a child molester because there's a lot of evidence. You remember that Katie Johnson lawsuit where it like quoted him as receiving oral sex from a 13-year-old, and then he goes, it was a terrible blowjob. It was one of the worst blowjobs I've ever had." And it's like, bro, that sounds like something he would say. But so first off, the would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. Oh yeah, I did a mangina on a show. There's a show called Striptease. My buddy Kyle Legacy put me on, and if you are the least funny, you have to strip. And they didn't like me, so I had to strip. And I was like, I gotta do something memorable here. I hope you can't hear that dog barking. That's pretty annoying. So I just tucked it, pants down, arms out, mangina Jesus, the whole crowd. They loved it more than my comedy, which is not the goal. But hey, we're doing something here, right? So the first week was struggling a bit on stage to like not make everyone hate me. You'd think that I'd be used to that, and I am, but in Austin, it's just been a little different because, you know, say what you will about Rogan and Kill Tony and stuff, and how people criticize that they create a culture of just saying crazy shit with no punchlines, and honestly, that's great for me. I I love it. I really do. And I have no complaints. I love Austin. I like the comedy scene, even though I'm failing miserably in it. But I knew that it would be a challenge to come out to UK and try to make my material work out here. And it would force me to kind of look at myself and see what I could tweak to appeal to larger audiences without sacrificing any authenticity. And that's exactly what happened. And also, I'm usually very high before I perform because I feel like it makes me funnier because it makes my eyes smaller and it makes me smile more and I seem like more like happy and friendly and less like I'm gonna kill you, which is my default state. And it's never good to rely on drugs. I've had to go through a lot of self training. You know, like when I quit drinking, I took a bunch of mushrooms and then I like convinced myself I don't need alcohol anymore. And then I was addicted to mushrooms, which is insane. I don't know anyone else who could say that. And then, and then I went fully sober and I started smoking weed again because I was like, I'm not as funny or creative. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, I was wrong and I'm just lying to myself. And no, the drugs make you better sometimes. Some drugs make some of you better sometimes. That's a fact. Potentially. Some of you shouldn't do drugs. Some of you guys are just bad at it. And but I'm not. I never needed, like, I don't have substance abuse. I have substance abuse ordeals. They're not really issues. They're like, the problem is that they fix the problems. And my goal is to not have to rely on something to fix the problems. So I have a perfectly good solution right here. It's drugs. But I am not going to do them because I want to be better than everyone. And, oh yeah, I drank for the first time. I shouldn't tell you guys this. This is like embarrassing, but it's fucking funny. So I have to tell you. I drank for the first time in like 6 months. And I'm like, I gotta try a Guinness out here, right? So I have a Guinness, and then I'm like, well, I'm already back on the wagon. So I did this drinking show. I end up having to take like a couple, 4 shots of vodka and a shot of peach schnapps and then another beer. So I had a decent buzz going. And that night was so much fun. I had a great time. I felt like myself again. I felt loose and just not really worried about anything, which I shouldn't be anyways, but my brain's just fucked. So it always has been. So the next day I wake up, no hangover. I'm like, I'm out of the woods. And then I fucking go to fart and just shart aggressively on the sheets. I'm like, oh fuck no. I get up, I grab all the sheets, rip it off the bed. I'm fucking dripping. So I'm like wiping. I go to run into the bathroom. It's a shared Airbnb, so someone's in there. So I'm just standing there, covered in shit, just leaning against the wall, like, fuck, please, hurry up. And then I get in, I shower, I do the laundry, I get everything taken care of. And then later that day, I realized I had given myself pink eye. I literally got shit-faced. And that's the problem with drugs and alcohol, man, is that's a perfect bit right there. It's a good bit, and it's not even a joke that I wrote. It's just a thing that happened because I was abusing substances. So I guess what I'm trying to say is comedy is a terrible addiction and it's ruining my life, but also everything else kind of sucks, and I don't like performing music on stage. I like doing it alone, but I mean, I got a bunch of shit that I like doing. I guess I have nothing to complain about. But, I mean, it would be cool to fight again, but, like, I'm not good at that. And I'm pretty good at comedy. I mean, my jokes are like loving parents. Not everybody gets them. So I get that there's probably a lot of people that wouldn't like my stuff. I don't really hear from them. I think it's okay if people hate your comedy because they're mad at it versus no opinion because there's no joke, because that's the majority of shitty comedy It's not saying crazy shit for no reason. It's just saying nothing. Like you just start with a premise and then it goes nowhere. That's shitty comedy. Boring. Boring is the worst thing you can be. Honestly, I would have an easier time forgiving someone for disrespecting me than being boring. And I'm not sure what that says about me, but that's true. If someone like pissed me off, we could turn things around. But if someone bores me, I'm like, I never want to see you again. I just have too many thoughts going on. And if what you're saying is not at least equally as cool as my thoughts, I would rather be alone and thinking. But yeah, so the first week was a little rough on stage, and at no point was I like questioning myself or my abilities or something. Apparently, that's a common theme here at the Fringe, where people are like, "Oh no, I'm bombing and I suck. Should I even keep doing comedy?" I wasn't thinking that. I mean, I do it because I like to do it, and even if I bomb, then I'll lean in even more and just go into what I want to talk about, because that's what it's all about for me. It's all about freedom. It's about freedom, and it's about hanging out with the boys and talking shit. And the freedom to say whatever you want, there's a limit to that. And the limit is based on your level of fame. And I am nobody. Nobody knows who the fuck I am. I'm just some random dude. So I can say whatever I want. And I love that. And I'm grateful for the fact that I'm not successful enough to where I need to think about what I'm going to say. And if I do blow up, eventually things are going to be stressful because I say a lot of shit that would piss a lot of people off if they knew who I was. So, either best case or worst case scenario, either I get famous and then I get a bunch of shit, or I don't get famous and I can just say whatever I want forever and do my favorite thing. So either way, it's a win-win. It would be nicer to have more people know who I am, though. Like, I don't know, there's certain comedians that are at the perfect level of fame where you either love them or you have no idea who they are. And I guess that just comes with consistency. And like posting this is supposed to help, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't think in this line of work you can become too attached to an outcome. So I'm just gonna keep living, but it would be better stories if I was fucked up all the time. So I'm gonna try to be as interesting as possible with the minimal drug use as possible. So just to summarize my drug use so far, I did a bump of coke like once, maybe a few times, and it was one night, probably the same night I was drinking. And then we smoked weed a few times, but it was like shitty weed and nothing happened. Then we got some hash, and that was a little better. And then I finally got edibles last night, and I got really high for the first time in a month. So I would say for the most part, I've been pretty sober. I mean, I usually am. It's after going sober and realizing that you have to keep doing the drugs to like stay in that level of manufactured happiness. It's like, well, now it becomes a financial risk and a legal risk, and you have to be consistent with everything, even your drug use. So but also without it, the way to be happy is excessive training and dieting. Like just focusing on being really healthy all day, and then at night you can have fun. It's a lot more work. So I don't know. Either way, there's always a cost to everything. There's a even in quantum physics, on the smallest scale, in atoms, there's a positive charge and a negative charge. There's two sides, the duality of man. You know, like you meet a chick who's an easy bang, and on the bright side, she's a whore. But on the downside, she's a whore. So it really just applies to everything in life. There's always a downside. You know, the grass is always greener, whatever. You just have to be certain that you're doing what you want to do, and whatever you're missing out on, fuck it. I don't know if I'm preaching or just trying to convince myself, but I'm glad I'm out here. It's really pushing me. I had to leave behind a great life for, not leave behind, but like, put a pause on it. Miss my fucking dog, but I'm out here doing comedy and getting better, and people are recognizing too. There's like I had a number of people come up to me and other comics on the festival and basically tell me I was the funniest person on the festival, and that I have like an infinite ceiling and could become one of the biggest comics in the world, and that's nice. That's nice to hear, and I agree with that too. But it's just being a insane person is what makes me good, but it's also the worst thing. So your greatest skill is often your greatest curse. When I think back to every positive opportunity I've had and every thing that I've sabotaged, they both came from the same place. Like the same thing that got me in the room was the thing that got me kicked out. So it's like kind of just breaking even here. Oh man, I wish I could do everything perfectly without fucking up. Like I just had a song drop on Spotify today. Live by the pills, die by the pills. Don't look it up because I put the wrong audio file in. So it was an old song from another Street Gonzo episode. And it's just like, man, fuck, It's just a lot of that. A lot of that is just from not paying attention. I can't pay attention to shit. That's why people get pissed that I'm not listening when they're talking. It's like I'm just distracted by everything all the time. It's not good. It's not good at all. And the only way to fix it is drugs. Sorry to beat a dead horse here. I'm just, they say you live and you learn. In my experience, you live. I've never learned anything. I've gotten better at performing certain tasks. I think I was just born with all of the human knowledge I possess now, and everything's just been repeating the same mistakes over and over again. But the mistakes aren't that bad, so it's not ruining my life, and I keep getting away with it, and we keep moving forward. But notice everyone just, as long as you're in great shape and you look good, everyone just assumes you're doing great. So I got my Nether Hour hat. I have not worn it yet. It's been windy. This thing's getting dusty. But yeah, so I met a lot of great people, and that's been a really great part of this experience. And maybe I have opportunities to travel and perform in other places now. I remember a few weeks ago I was like ready to get this over with, and now I'm like, oh, I'm leaving like 5 days before the end of the festival, so now I'm kind of like, damn, I wish I was staying a little bit longer. But we got to keep moving. We got a show in London tomorrow, and then I'm gonna meet up with Brad from Cowboy Diplomacy down in Germany, and we're gonna make some music in a farm. And then I got 3 shows in Barcelona, and then I'm going to Croatia in there somewhere. Just not even doing comedy. I just want to see Croatia. And then I don't remember, dude. I'm going to a bunch of places. Life's cool or whatever. Fucking like or subscribe or whatever. I don't care.